welcome to my channel. This channel features clear, simple to understand content to help you get ahead with your Oxygen Builder website. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. Today, I'm going to show you how to add some cool custom button features. So here you can see some examples. If you go to Oxygen Builder and add a button, click on Advanced, click on Effects. You will see the effects on Animate and Scroll. So check out animation type and you'll see all the animation types. I chose fade left. So for you to see the effect of this button, I'm going to reload the page. So this is the animate on scroll effect. But today I'm going to show you something different. So this is not limited to the animate on scroll effect. Here you can see the marquee effect with the lines moving. So this is the marquee button. The animated border gradient button looks really cool. The float shadow button and the icon bounce. So now I'm going to show you what these buttons look like on mobile devices. Let's get back to Oxygen Builder and build these buttons from scratch. So I'm going to delete the button as well as the code block. And now I'm going to add the code block. We can see how it's done from scratch. So I found this really cool website called Codepen.io. And on this site, you could build, test, and discover front-end code. So just go to search Codepen and type in what you like to find. And what I found is this cool marquee button. So what I'm going to do now is copy the HTML code and click on the code block, go to Advanced, PHP, and paste in the HTML code. So what we need to do is to remove the ready, set, go. We don't need this because we're going to have our own text. So that's pretty simple. We're going to delete this part and apply the code. So now we don't have this. So next, what we're going to do now is to add in the CSS code in the code block. So we go back to the website and copy the CSS code. Right, so now you can see it's blue color. We can change the colors as well. Let's see. So I could just delete this. So it turns black. Or I can play around with the colors by changing the colors here. But I'm just going to delete it for now. All right. So we don't need the padding as well. Right, so let's leave it like this. And what we need to do next is really important. Let's hide the code block. So the reason we're doing this is because we want to apply the dot marquee class to the button, and we don't need the code to be visible. So let's just hide it. Go to Advanced, Layout, and click None at Display. So let's just hide this. Right, so it's gone. And now let's add in our button. So I'm going to type in button. And now I'm going to add in a marquee class. I added the class, and now I can add in any text I like. So let's add Forvance. So there you go. This is the marquee button. I'm also going to show you how you could customize your buttons. So just go to your button, click on the button, click on primary, and then you can change the button color, for example, red, and button hover color. So I'll add in another color as well. And here you can see the change. So it's fully customizable, and the text color as well. So you can see when you change the text, the lines change color as well, but this could probably be changed in the CSS code. So let's return to our original colors. This was black. All right, so let's move on to the animated border gradient button. So I'm going to delete the code block as well as the button. And we'll go to codepen.io. I'm also going to give credit to the authors of this code. So this one, the animated CSS border, the author is Rohit Meshram, and the other one is for the marquee button, Wing Yu. So I'm going to copy the HTML code, and then I'm going to add in a code block. Go to PHP and HTML, and remove animated CSS border. So we don't need this text in our button, and that's why I'm going to remove it. And I'm also going to add CSS code. So here you can see the CSS code, and paste it. Right, so now we're going to remove something that we don't need. So that would be the background color. And we don't need this line as well. And we don't need the width and the height because we're going to have the button width and height. And I'm going to hide the code block. So I go to layout and click none in the code block. Let's just wait. I'm going to go to add and add in the button. And add in the button class, which you can find in the code block CSS. So it says here glow box with a capital B. And I'm going to add in glow box with a capital B. So add class. And there we go, we have our button. Now what we can do is type in the text. And we could tweak this as well. For example, we can make the blur more. So I'm just going to show you. So for example, if I add 30, it's going to increase in size. This blur increased in size. You can also change the color of the button. So I could make it to red, for example. But we need to delete the black color in the CSS code. Yes, and now we can change the colors. So we can also change the text color and increase the text size and customize the button using Oxygen Builder. So now I'm going to move on to the float shadow button, and I can bounce button. Now, before I do this, I want to show you another super cool feature so that we could change the colors of the gradient. So I'll go to this cool website called gradient-animator.com. And here we could customize gradient colors. So let's just add in 2 colors, for example, or maybe more than 2. So let's go like this. All right, so now let's copy the code. So let's also switch the gradient angle and the scroll angle and preview. Looks like this. And we'll copy this code. We'll go to the code block of the animated border gradient button. And let's go here and paste in the code. And here we can see that there was a change in the gradient colors. All right, so how do we create the float shadow button? So to do this, we need to go to this website called, just a moment, find hover CSS. So it's called ianlunn.github.io. And this is a pretty cool website where you could see a lot of nice button effects. So 2D transitions, such as this. Background transitions like this. Icon buttons. So you have animated icons. Border transitions. Shadow and grow transitions. Speech bubbles. Curls. This looks pretty cool. One of my favorites. Okay, so we want to create float shadow button. So how do we do this? So here's another example of the float shadow button. So we go to download on GitHub and then go to CSS, hover CSS, and then we search for float shadow. So here we have the float shadow code. And then we copy this code. So what we do now is, of course, I need to delete the button. And I also need to delete the style sheet. So I want to show you how to make it from scratch. So what we do now is add in a style sheet. I'll just name it button CSS. And I paste in the code. And then I copy this hover-float-shadow, which is the class. And then I add in the button. Right now, I just paste in the class. And there we have the effect. So I could also change the colors of the button. So like this. Let's just make it to another color. Maybe this one. And change the text color as well. Right, and then we move on to the icon bounce button. So it looks, it doesn't work now because I deleted the CSS code. So let's just delete the button by going to structure and I expanded this. So this is a bit trickier, but I'll show you how it's done. All right. So what we want to do now is to create an icon animation. So we go back to this website, github.com/ianloon. So this link has the CSS code, but we need to find the website. So let's find it again. Our CSS, ianloon.github.io. And we find the icon animation, looks like this. And then we search for the code. So icon bounce. So we copy the code. We go to the button CSS style sheet and just paste it. So no problem. We have that division here. So it knows there's another code here. No problem with that. So what we need to do next is we need to add in a link wrapper. And then we add in a text. And we also add in an icon. So we change this icon, or maybe we can keep this. And what we need to do now is to click stack child elements horizontally. So link wrapper, primary, and layout child elements should be horizontal. Next, we change the text. And change the size of the icon. Right. So we can also change the link wrapper background. So let's just make it another color. With this color, change the text to not this text in the link wrapper. So let's make it to white. And the icon would also be white. All right, so we also need to change the link wrapper size and spacing. So let's add in some padding. And the margin. So there's a space between, or a padding, so there's space between the text and the icon. And now let's implement the code. So we go to Manage Style Sheets, button CSS, and we find the code which is called hvr-icon-bounce. And what we need to do now is to apply this to the link wrapper. So just paste it, apply to the link wrapper, and there's another code we need to apply to the icon so that the icon is animated, which is called hvr-icon. Copy that and apply that to the icon class. Right. So here we can see there's an animation. You can also slightly increase the link wrapper size. So let's go here. Let's just add in 10. Maybe like this. All right, and we'll save this. Just wait till it saves. Right, so here we can see the changes. The float shadow button, which is green now, and the icon bounce button. Thank you for watching. You can click the like and subscribe buttons to support the channel and watch videos like this one.